What is up, everyone? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 17 Back-to-Back Battles. We have Eric as our first opponent today, and we are still bringing along the Generation 1 team with Magneton, Kangaskhan, Starmie, Machamp, Arcanine, and Gengar. Our opponent has the Ninetales, Tapu Lele, Gyarados, Garchomp, Tapu Koko, and Marowak. Very standard old-like team, actually. Really reminds me of the past. How do I want to handle this? Gengar does seem pretty good as a lead. That Tapu Koko is going to be one heck of an annoying Pokemon to deal with, but I think it's going to be okay. Scarf Garchomp can be a problem, that's for sure. Probably is Scarf Garchomp, to be honest. If it is Scarf Garchomp, I'm in a bit of trouble, but I think I'm going to lead Starmie plus Arcanine. Seems pretty solid. Magneton to outspeed the Tapu Koko, and I think I got to go Machamp as my last Pokemon, because Machamp with Wide Guard prevents Garchomp from going for Earthquake spam, so I am okay with this. At least I hope. This is going to be a very tough matchup, because if it is Scarf Garchomp, I'm in a lot of trouble. If it's not Scarf Garchomp, I feel pretty okay about my position, to be honest. Maybe Magneton would have been a more solid lead, but of course there's that Marowak, so I didn't want to lead Magneton when I could just have my Volt Switch redirected, because usually with Scarf users I like to go with a Volt Switch or U-turn to gain the most momentum out of a turn. So let's see how this is going to go. Of course, I'm going to have to really be worried about a Scarf Garchomp. I'm going to have to either keep Machamp healthy or Starmie's Focus Sash intact, and I'm probably going to have to risk Starmie's Focus Sash, to be completely honest. We're going to lead our Arcanine plus our Starmie against Garchomp and Gyarados. Actually, this is pretty much the ideal situation, I think. I do carry Wild Charge on my Arcanine as well as Ice Beam on my Starmie. The Gyarados is faster than my Arcanine. That is something to confirm and note, as we will get Intimidate off onto the Gyarados. I think I could just fire off an Ice Beam into the Garchomp and fire off a Wild Charge, I guess, into the Gyarados. Because Gyarados most likely will be tempted to go for a free Dragon Dance. We're going to see the Garchomp actually withdraw into Tapu Lele, which I do not mind. But I guess Gyarados might be going for a Z-move right here, which I guess could be concerning. However, you might want to Dragon Dance up, who knows. No Protect here. Ice Beam going to go into Tapu Lele, doing a decent amount. We are going to see that Dragon Dance, so I do call that correctly, and we'll get a free, basically, Wall Charge off, and this is going to do a lot of damage. Even at -1 attack, we still have a 4 times effective move. And Arcanine's no slouch in the offensive department. And I wish I had extreme speed. Bulldoze has not been coming in as clutch as I wanted. Ooh, a berry from the Gyarados. Gonna be one of the 50% berries, actually. Okay, that's a bit interesting. My plan against Garchomp isn't so great now. I don't know what I want to do here. I'm probably just going to have to protect my Starmie here, because I do need Starmie, and I think I will save my Arcanine and go out into Machamp on a potential Hydro Vortex. We'll see how this goes, though. I'm not exactly confident about this play, but I think Magneton can handle the Gyarados no problem, so I will go into Machamp here. And let's see, maybe this Tapu Lele Scarf, we might be able to confirm it right now. It's going to be Scarf Tapu Lele, actually. Thunderbolt into Starmie. And a Waterfall going out and targeting down to Machamp. Machamp should be able to survive that pretty comfortably, actually. And we will be able to live another one, so I'm actually going to double into my Arcanine here. And I definitely need to get rid of this Tapu Lele, so I will go for the Poison Jab. A -1 Gyarados isn't really too threatening. If it does go for Hydro Vortex here and knocks out my Machamp, which I think it will be able to pick up the knockout at this range, I get a free switch in my Magneton, which I wouldn't mind. And Thunderbolt's not going to do too much to Arcanine to where I'm really concerned. So let us see. Thunderbolt's going to go off and target down my Arcanine slot. Not going to do too much. And a Waterfall is going to come again. So hopefully we don't flinch here. A flinch would kind of suck. We do heal with our 50% berry, so let's see what my opponent's going to go for. And confirming it's Scarf Tapu Lele. Man, that sucks. Not going to lie. Not sure if the Tapu Lele will want to stay in just to go for another Thunderbolt, though, so I'm just going to Wild Charge. And I think I'm going to actually pull a Dynamic Punch on the Tapu Lele in case something wants to come out. But since it's not Scarf Garchomp, I'm feeling a lot more confident. about the matchup. However, yeah, that kind of sucks, to be honest, that we flinched when we could have got rid of the Scarf User. Tapu Lele is going to retreat, go out into Marowak here, so I can't even wall charge. Good play by my opponent. And gets the Dragon Dance up. So I might have to hope for confusion at this rate. That stinks. I should have considered a Marowak option too. I kind of played that too fast. Dynamic Punch into the Marowak. I should have just went for the Flare Blitz. Dynamic Punch into the Gyarados. Now we're in a bit of a tough situation. I will just protect my Arcanine here, and I think I will go for a Dynamic Punch since Machamp can live one waterfall at neutral. And I don't really need Machamp anymore since I confronted to not Scarf Garchomp. And we're going to see the waterfall, and we'll target down smartly the Machamp, but hopefully we don't flinch again. Nice, we get a Dynamic Punch off. And this is going to do a good amount of damage, as well as get the confusion factor, which could help us in the game. We're already down behind because of that one flinch, so maybe we can pull a comeback. We see the attack into the Arcanine, the Shadow Bone. Don't exactly have a comfortable switch in, and I definitely want Arcanine alive in this battle. So I think I'm just going to fire off a Flare Blitz and a Poison Jab. Yeah, I think Starmie can actually do really well in this game now, depending on how this plays, but it depends on what this Gyarados does. It does pull through and gets a waterfall off, and that'll be able to knock out Machamp, but that is okay. Hopefully we'll be able to get rid of this Gyarados. If not, we're going to be in a bit of trouble. Flare Blitz will come out, targeting down this Gyarados. Almost able to pick up the knockout, but I wish I had Extreme Speed. Extreme Speed would have been really helpful here. Shadow Bone going to go out into Arcanine. Non-Intimidate, that will be able to pick up the KO. And I think I have to hope for Gyarados attacking itself one time. Go out into Magneton, click Flash Cannon, and target down this Marowak. I have to double target the Marowak. I can't touch the Gyarados at where it's at right now. But the good news is a Flash Cannon should be able to pick up the knockout on top of Lele. So it's probably Z-move on Garchomp then. That's good to confirm. I'm going to go for my Flash Cannon into the Marowak slot as well as a Scald. Hopefully Gyarados does hits itself because I kind of need my sturdies right now to handle that Tapu Lele. The Tapu Lele is a big threat. I don't care if Gyarados switches out because that would actually benefit me more because then Gyarados wouldn't have its speed. Marowak going to protect. Smart play by my opponent, but we'll see what is going to happen this turn. It all comes down to Gyarados hitting itself. Of course, we're never lucky. Waterfall going to go out into the Starmie. Okay, I still have to rely on Gyarados hitting itself. It's my only win condition. I guess I could have targeted the Gyarados for free there. But I think with the Starmie having its Focus Sash broken, we're already in a terrible position. Because Tapu Lele is still going to be annoying to handle. Again, I'll just double the Marowak. And of course, my opponent snaps out. Never lucky. Here we go. Waterfall into the Starmie. And the Flash Cannon will go out into the Marowak. So we'll at least pick up the knockout Marowak. Or at least we should. Flash Cannon plus Scald should be able to finish the job. Yep. Scald will come out. Target down the Marowak. Marowak will go down. I guess it comes down to how bulky the Garchomp is. If it can live in Ice Beam, then I think I lose. But if it can't live in Ice Beam, I'm in a pretty solid position actually. So let's see, Tapu Lele is going to come out. I'm just going to protect Starmie. I'm forced to protect Starmie, unfortunately. And try to hit up the Tapu Lele with a Flash Cannon. Yeah, that's all I can do. I don't have another play. And I gotta hope Starmie can live one waterfall from the Gyarados afterward. Unless this Gyarados has Earthquake. Might have Ice Fang though, so at least we have some ray of hope. But yeah, that flinch kind of stinks. We would have been able to get rid of the Tapu Lele, and I wouldn't have had to worry about Tapu Lele, and Gyarados would have been a lot less of a threat. Oh, we're going to see the Gyarados protect. Okay. Maybe this is a window of opportunity here. We will protect Starmie. I guess it depends on what move he goes for. It's going to be Thunderbolt into Starmie, actually. Instead of a Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam, which is surprising. Flash Cannon into the Tapu Lele. Will pick up the knockout onto Tapu Lele, so Tapu Lele will go down. Very close game. Very close game. And then we'll probably see... Well, we do see the Garchomp, but now I don't know if he protects or not. I guess. I think Flash Cannon the Gyarados and just Ice Beam the Garchomp is the safest play. I mean, he has the Waterfall here if he doesn't have a Z move. Oh yeah, he had a Berry, so there was no Z move. Gonna go for the Waterfall. That shouldn't knock out Starmie in one hit, so if we can get this Ice Beam off, we do win the game. So Flash Cannon will go off and finish off this Gyarados, and then Ice Beam should put the Garchomp in range of the Flash Cannon, so pray to me that the Starmie actually goes through. Nice. Okay, that should secure the game. Ice Beam gonna connect with the Garchomp, and oh, looks like, is that AV? I can't tell. But we do have sturdy on Magneton, and Magneton, it looks like, is gonna pull through in this game. Nice, nice. Oh, I honestly thought that flinch, or me not just targeting the Gyarados on the Marowak's Protect, because even though the Marowak protecting was kind of obvious, I could never let Marowak attack, because Marowak attack, like, Gyarados was a lot less of a threat. Well, Marowak can break me down to one of my Sashes with either Pokemon, so I had to go for it. I had to target down the Marowak no matter what. And luckily, we did pull through. I feel like it's because my opponent didn't target down the Magneton when Waterfall and Starmie didn't really matter so much because you always had Tapu Lele in the back. So I guess if you got rid of Magneton, you did win the game, I think. So, good game to my opponent. I don't feel like I played the best in that first match, but hopefully I will play better in the next two. So, starting off with one win. Okay. And luckily it wasn't Scarf Garchomp. Luckily we were able to confirm it was Scarf Tapu Lele from turn 1. Well, not turn 1. It was like, what? Turn 3? Luckily that Dragon is actually helping us. But I feel like I made a very silly play. Like, dynamic punching the Tapu Lele switch when Marowak came out. I feel like that was very obvious. If I just targeted down to Gyarados, it would have been a lot easier situation. But we'll see. We'll see. As we find Miyono from Japan with a 1683 rating to kick things off. Kommo-o, Tapu Bulu, Kartana, Arcanine, Nihilego, and Ninetales. Very interesting team composition. Double Grass. We do have our Gengar, which is actually very solid against my opponent's team. My opponent doesn't exactly have the best answers to Gengar. Machamp can do a lot of work in this matchup, I feel like. I think Machamp can come through. So can Magneton. There's actually a lot of Pokemon that could come through right now. Starmie could come through pretty easily. I just don't know about the items. The item game is going to be very important. But Starmie Magneton doesn't seem like a bad lead. And I think I will go for that lead. I do like Gengar in the back as well as Arcanine. There's no trigger on my opponent's team, so I do feel very safe. Just going with Magneton plus Starmie. Yes, I am leaning double Focus Sash against a potential Hail. Not sure my opponent would bring the Hail mode though. I don't think it really helps too much with anything on my team specifically. I guess it could help because his Nihilego could be an enormous threat under Auroraville, but otherwise I don't really see much usage. It's a very interesting team composition that we have from my opponents, so let's see if we can pull out a win here. But I'm going to have to target down that Nihilego. That Nihilego is a huge threat to my team. And once I get rid of Nihilego, I feel like the rest of my team can have a lot of fun. So, getting rid of that Nihilego is a huge priority. So, let's see what my opponent brings out. It's going to be the Kommo-o and Nihilego. So, double targeting this Nihilego is kind of what I want to go for. But at the same time, Nihilego could just protect here. I don't know if it's like a bulky variant on Nihilego. I also don't know what kind of Kommo-o this is, so pretty bad position, especially since we don't know if Kommo-o is physical or special. Both are viable, so let's see. Don't have a switch in even if I click Volt Switch, so I'm actually going to Flash Cannon Ice Beam that's Kommo-o slot in case Nihilego decides to protect. I need to get some momentum. Also, Kommo-o is an annoying Pokemon that actually damage on my team. So I'm okay with going for a double attack, which should be able to pick up the knockout unless it's really specially defensive or carries the Assault Vest item. Nihilego can't exactly one-hit KO any of my Pokemon here. And might be inclined to switch out because Magneton, well, I do have Scarf. Oh, he's Scarf on Nihilego, goes for the Sludge Bomb and Starmie, okay. Guess a Poison. Well, natural cure, but that poison damage might be important for, like, Arcanine Extreme Speed. That Flash Cannon does way too much. That Ice Beam is definitely going to pick up the knockout onto Kommo-o from that range. Or at least it should. Or it doesn't. Clanging Scales is going to come out. So, Clanging Scales is a move. It's a spread special Dragon type move which lowers defense by stage. Yep. Ooh, that's pretty bad. I just lost my Starmie, which was a pretty key member. But I guess I can go on a Gengar now and click sub. I think that's a... How did Flash Cannon do a lot more than that Ice Beam? Well, they did about the same amount, but I thought Starmie would have been more powerful there. Nihilego most likely inclined to switch out. I mean, Nihilego really can't do much. If you want a Sludge Bomb and stay in, that's fine. But I'm going to try a sub up here for free and get a Flash Cannon knockout to Kommo-o. Most likely going to be sacked this turn in order to get a free switch in back into the Nihilego, I would assume. Wonder if this Nihilego carries HP Fire. It could carry HP Ice, but HP Fire seems pretty prevalent since Kartana could be a problem. Actually, Kommo is a pretty nice counter to Kartana. It's got great defenses. I think it gets Flamethrower. I'm pretty sure it does. Well, it's a dragon, so it probably does. Nihilego go in and withdraw and retreat into the Arcanine. So, pretty good turn for me. I don't mind Arcanine coming out because I will get a Flash Cannon and a sub up. I don't think Kommo has Protect. I think it's AV. We'll see. Yeah, it just doesn't attack. I'm not sure if it's AV, to be honest, because I don't know my Kommo calcs, but I do know it has pretty good defenses in general. So I will pick up the knock on Kommo and get a substitute up, which is going to help with my momentum. And now it comes down to what kind of... I guess Nihilego is coming out, unless maybe Ninetales wants to come out, try to break my sub. But Nihilego is going to come out, okay. I'm more worried about this Nihilego more than the Arcanine. Shadow Ball plus Flash Cannon should be able to pick up the knockout, so I will go for that play. This is going to be very interesting, though, how this endgame plays out. Power Gem's going to come out. Probably try to break my sub. Yep. I'm guessing it's a double attack into Gengar. Or maybe going for something with Arcanine that I don't know it could have. But Flash Cannon will go out into Nihilego. Very specially defensive Pokemon. Will Shadow Ball be able to pick up the knockout? I think at that range it should. Jeez, why are my Pokemon not being able to pick up the KO today? Flare Blitz is going to go out into the Gengar slot, which will be able to pick up the knockout. We do get the Curse Body, though. Oh, that's bad. Why is his Pokemon living every attack with, like, very little? Okay, Arcanine comes back in. I can't do anything. He gets a free Power Gem. Let me see if there's actually anything I can do. Whatever his last Pokemon is, it's going to be weak to my Arcanine anyway. Maybe I should just Flash Cannon the Nihilego slot, accept the potential... this is still bad anyway. We do get Intimidate off onto Arcanine. Ooh, we're going to see the Arcanine withdraw. Into Tapu Bulu, which... I'm not exactly sure for my opponent because Power Gem won't be able to knock out Arcanine. I'm going to get a Flare Blitz off. Yeah, here we go. Power Gem into Arcanine. We should survive. Yes, we do survive. And we'll have a Berry so we can live the recoil from Flare Blitz after. Not sure what my opponent's going for at this rate. Flash Cannon going to go off and target down this Nihilego. So Nihilego does go down. And we get a Flare Blitz off. We'll see how bulky this Tapu Bulu can be. Flare Blitz will go off into that Tapu Bulu. And picks up the knockout. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Unfortunately, my Arcanine has taken a lot of chip damage, though. And his Arcanine most likely still carries a Berry. So it's still not over by a long shot. And Bulldoze is weakened in grassy terrain, which is a bit unfortunate. So Arcanine's going to come out. I mean, Flash Cannon is still going to do a decent amount. I'm not sure if he protects to get grassy terrain, but I would get grassy terrain as well, so I would imagine no. I wonder if he's like Banded Arcanine potentially. Well, we'll see by the Flash Cannon damage we're going to do here. And I could go for Wild Charge. I think Wild Charge is fine here, because in case he decides to attack Magneton, I do want to get some free damage with Wild Charge while I have the chance. Flash Cannon into his Arcanine. That's a pretty good amount, actually. That doesn't look especially defensive. Oh, he has close combat. Targets down my Arcanine, which will pick up the KO. I should have protected. Oh, no. It was Banded Arcanine. Unfortunately, I never got to see the item on Arcanine, but I should have assumed. I should have just protected Arcanine. But if he banded close combat the Magneton, it was the game anyway, so it was a 50-50 no matter what. If Flash Cannon crits, maybe? If Flash Cannon crits, we might be able to KO him. He's at -1 special defense. I don't think a crit would have knocked him out. I think it would have been barely. Close combat coming in clutch for my opponent. The banded Arcanine. Good game. Good game to my opponent. That definitely caught me off guard. Yeah, just his Pokemon were huge threats, and they ended up living. Not much I could do about it. I did make the right... actually, maybe I didn't make the right prediction. If I targeted down the Nihilego turn 1, I would have been probably in a very solid position, I think. So maybe I should just target down that Nihilego turn 1, because once I targeted down that Nihilego, got rid of it with Scald plus Flash Cannon, it would have been much easier to handle the remaining of his Pokemon, but I think it was Scarf Bulu. Because of how it took that Flare Blitz, I don't think it took it well at all. I mean, it got knocked out. I'm very sure that was Scarf Bulu. So Scarf Bulu could have cleaned me up in the late game anyway, so I actually don't know. I guess I would, well, if I preserved Gengar well enough, I would have been able to have my Acid Downpour and pick up a KO. So I think that was probably my mistake. But, yeah. Very interesting and cool team from my opponent. I like it. I liked it. Not gonna lie, I liked it. But we'll see. Let's continue on, and hopefully we'll be able to pick up another win. We're not getting the 3 wins that I really want with this team, but we will keep persevering. And yeah, I really do think this team, it isn't the most competitive. I can definitely tell you people that. I think I've said this before. I have played a lot of games with it. I don't think it's the most competitive, obviously. It's not the most well-built. It's pretty weak to, like, Takoko. Scarf Garchamp's a problem. A lot of things are actually a problem. Mimikyu. I forgot to change Kangaskhan to Scrappy, didn't I? Yeah, I haven't yet. But, you know, I think individually, these Pokemon can have certain roles that I could fulfill on certain teams. So that's why I'm kind of showing these Pokemon off all at once. 1502 rating, we got Martincho, or however you pronounce it, Incineroar, Rabombe, or Rabombe, however you like to pronounce it, the Gastrodon, Stoutland, Muck, and Mischievous. Very interesting team. Kind of seems a bit random. You see a Stoutland without Sand, so Stoutland's other ability is Intimidate, and it's a great ability. Stoutland's not exactly the best Pokemon in general, though, so you tend to see like Arcanine and Salamence or Gyarados prefer having those Intimidates. We have Incineroar, who should get Intimidate, does have it for its ability, not released yet. Rabombe is a very fast Pokemon, and you can't status it, I believe, due to its ability. I don't remember what it's called. Gastrodon, Storm Drain, Muck, and Mischievous, which is interesting. It's like Porygon 2, but it has the ability to Levitate, which is pretty cool. Machamp seems pretty solid against my opponent's team. Other than the Rabombe, I think I want to lead. I think I want to go Gengar Arcanine, which is pretty solid against my opponent's team. Machamp and the Magneton in the back. I'm going to regret not having Scrappy and Kangaskhan. If I had Scrappy and Kangaskhan, I could definitely prevent a potential Trick Room from my opponent's team, but I can't exactly prevent that. Look, luckily my opponent doesn't exactly have the powerhouses that can abuse the Trick Room, get the priority knockouts, but my team is pretty frail, so that might come into factor here. But we're going to see Rabombe and Incineroar. Is this a Quiver Dance lead, potentially? What is this, like, Top Volk? No, wait, was it? No, what was it called? Top Moth. Yeah, Top Moth. Ah, I remember that. Top Moth. I can just get a Sludge Bomb though onto Rabombe, and yeah, I could just Sludge Bomb Rabombe, and I guess I could Flare Blitz to Rabombe as well. There's not much my opponent can do. Maybe go for maybe a Z move on Gengar, or just Protect. Okay. So I'm most likely just gonna go for the attack. I could have made the Fake Out Protect. Interesting choice. I could have got a free sub up there, which kind of stunk. Maybe I should have just went for Substitute. because it guaranteed me a decent roll, and Quiver Dance for Bombay doesn't look like it would do much. But I definitely want to protect my Gengar here and just go for a Bulldoze. I want to lower the speed on my Bombay, break a potential Focus Sash, as well as if it does instead of a Quiver Dance. I don't know if this thing gets Psychic, but we're going to see Bombay switch out into Gastrodon. So basically I get a free Bulldoze off and target down this Incineroar, so I do not mind. Protect coming out from the Gengar, and we'll see what this Incineroar has. Maybe it's a Z move. Some might have been better because, yeah, the Z move probably will hurt through Protect even at -1. We do lower the speed on both of these Pokemon, and we'll see what this Incineroar goes for. Darkest Lariat into the Gengar. Okay. So I think I just want to switch on to Machamp. Machamp can take any hit. And I think I'm just going to protect my Arcanine here and preserve it on the field, not take as much damage as I necessarily have to this turn. So let's see how this is going to work, because I honestly have no idea if this is going to work. But we get Machamp in, which should be faster than both of these Pokemon thanks to that Bulldoze. So we do have the Arcanine protecting, as we are going to see the Darkest Lariat come out from this Incineroar and target down the Machamp, it looks like. Yep, not going to do much damage with the Intimidate and the Resist. And we'll see if this is a Scald. Yep, Scald into Arcanine, which is perfect. As, yeah, we're in a pretty okay position now. We can go for a Dynamic Punch into the Gastrodon, and Incineroar really can't do much. So I think I'm just going to Flare Blitz the Incineroar just in case Bombay wants to come in on a potential Dynamic Punch, because it can't get Staz. Well, it would still take a lot of damage, but I'd rather get the Dynamic Punch damage because I need it on Gastrodon. We are going to see that switch out from Incineroar. Muck is going to come out, which I do not mind. Muck is a massive threat to my team, and I definitely need the damage on Gastrodon. I will not complain about this turn. A Flare Blitz will go off into that Muck. Do not as much damage as I'm expecting, to be honest. But we will get Dynamic Punch off, which should do a good amount to this Gastrodon, as well as get the Confusion, so we always have that luck. However, I feel like we haven't gotten a Dynamic Punch Confusion that's been really, like, helpful at all whenever I used it. And yeah, he even hits through. See? We see the Scald into Arcanine, which will proc my Berry, which is pretty helpful. Nice. And yeah, I'm really liking the position we have here. Dynamic Punch should be able to finish off the Gastrodon once again. We do have Scarf Magneton. We are in a okay position, I guess. Do I want to switch out my Arcanine? I don't want to take a potential knockoff if he does call that. I think I'm just going to Flare Blitz the Muck again and Dynamic Punch the Gastrodon. Maybe I could have doubled, but he could have Protect. Don't want to risk it. I do want to get rid of this Muck as soon as possible, so I will go for the Flare Blitz. I don't think Dynamic Punch would pick up the knockout Muck, but we even snagged the burn. That's pretty helpful. We'll see if it comes into a big play other than damage output, though. Dynamic Punch should finish off this Gastrodon, and this Gastrodon should be going down. Oh, it actually hangs on and eats a berry, which is going to be probably one of the 50% berries. Yep. So maybe I should double into that Gastrodon. Knock off into Machamp, getting rid of my berry, and we'll see probably if it hits itself or Scald. Recover, okay. This Gastrodon's being kind of annoying. However, the Muck can't do much into the positions that, thanks to the burn, it's really helping negate the damage that Muck can do and wearing it down every turn, so it will be in range of Dynamic Punch soon. I will just go for the double up into the Gastrodon, I think, now, because I will try to put it in range of where Dynamic Punch can pick up the knockout Gastrodon, because Gastrodon is a very annoying team for my team to handle. I don't have a Grass type move. Muck is going to protect here, maybe fearing a double up, but Muck isn't exactly the most helpful Pokemon, so I think my opponent would be better off sacking or just going for the attack. So Flare Blitz into that Gastrodon. Decent amount of damage, decent amount. We'll probably see the Scald into Arcanine, so I might lose my Arcanine, but I think Arcanine's job is pretty much done here. Arcanine has done a lot of work. As the Confusion will snap out, he gets the Scald off. Targets down Machamp though, so if he gets a burn, that could be a bit annoying. He does get the burn, but we still have Flare Blitz, and we still have Dynamic Punch. If we don't get the knockout on Gastrodon, he might hit it himself. And this Muck, again, not really doing too much. So I will just double target down this Gastrodon. So it'll burn for a burn, so I guess that's alright. Although Scald does have a 30% chance, and I think Flare Blitz is 10? Maybe it's 20, I don't remember. Flare Blitz into that Gastrodon once again. Should be able to put it in the range of a burn Dynamic Punch. Yeah, that's going to be Burn Dynamic Punch range. Arcanine's going to survive to turn 2, and I don't really need Machamp for much. Yes, there is an Incineroar, but I still have my Z-move intact, so it's not exactly the biggest concern in the world. And we'll see what the Muck goes for. It's going to be that Gunk Shot and firing it off into my Arcanine. Probably not fearing the Machamp anymore, to be honest. Will it snag the poison? Critical hit. Snags a critical hit, but not a poison. Okay. And we'll see what my opponent brings out. Probably we're going to see that Incineroar come out. I could see I guess Rabombe could come out in Fury. We're going to see Rabombe come out. Okay. Don't know if it's Sash or not, but I will go for a Poison Jab into that Rabombe slot. And I think I'll go for a Bulldoze here, because Bulldoze will lower the speed if he decides to go for Quiver Dance. I don't really see a point of not clicking Bulldoze. It won't really knock out Machamp at all. Bulldoze will be helpful, break a potential Focus Sash, as well as let my Magneton outspeed Rabombe. Rabombe is a pretty fast Pokemon. We're going to see a Moonblast be fired off and target down the Machamp slot. So I could have actually went for the Flare Blitz, but don't mind this positioning at all, to be honest, as I will be able to get a Bulldoze off, and it will be able to lower the speed of both of these Pokemon on the field. So now Rabombe, if it's Scarf, I guess that's a bit annoying. I don't know. Knockoff into my Arcanine slot. We'll pick up the knockout. Critical hit does not really matter too much. And I can go out into my Gengar. I think click a free substitute. I don't think he would stay in. And I'll just Thunderbolt the Muck slot because Muck isn't exactly doing much. Rabombe probably would protect or switch out. If it does switch out, I could, yes, get a free attack into the Rabombe. But the sub is all around safe in case he protects, because Incineroar could come out and I would have to double target the Incineroar most likely. So we will Thunderbolt and sub here. Very safe overall play. I don't really see many drawbacks, and the worst thing is I guess Rabombe attacks a sub. But it looks like he stays in with both Pokemon. Okay. Thunderbolt will pick up the knockout Muck, as we'll see what this Rabombe is going to be capable of. Pollen Puff. What does that move? It failed. I actually don't know what that move does. I don't think I've ever used Rabombe or let it live long enough to actually go for an attack. And it still was faster, which was interesting. Is Rabombe faster than Tapu Koko? Or is that a priority move? Oh well, Incineroar is out on the field. I'm just going to click my Z move into Incineroar as well as a Thunderbolt. Rabombe is not really much of a threat with my sub up. And I do have a Steel and Poison type on the field, so Fairy type attacks won't be doing too much. Bug type attacks won't do too much. And I should be able to pick up a knockout on Incineroar at this rate. Yeah, it's Bug Fairy. Okay. And Rabombe protects too, which was something I was considering. So this is basically the most ideal turn as he goes for Fake Out in a man. Why you keep going for Fake Out Protect? Maybe he wanted to break the Sturdy and thought I was going to target down the Rabombe with a Sludge Bomb, but still, even then you would be threatened by the Sludge Bomb the following turn. Well, I guess it's probably my opponent's hoping for a choke, so I guess I do understand that, but kind of funny to see it twice in the same battle. The Sludge Wave will be able to pick up the knockout onto the Incineroar. Not Sludge Wave, that's a downpour, but it is basically a big acid wave, so Sludge Bomb will finish off the Rabombe, and I have 2 attacks with Magneton. My opponent shouldn't be able to win this game at all. As let's see how much this Thunderbolt does. Yeah, I think Pollen Puff is a priority move. Yeah, that Thunderbolt does a lot. Is that? No, that's not the one. That's Powder. Powder is the one where you pour it on a Pokemon, it gets priority, and if that Pokemon uses Fire type attack, it explodes. So Sludge Bomb into the Rabombe will pick up the knockout, and we will be able to take 2 wins and 1 loss in today's episode of VGC 17 back-to-back battles. We are still climbing the low ladder. Hopefully we can break this 2-1 streak soon and get that 3-0 video. But I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please leave a like down below. Really shows the support. And I really want to ask the viewers something. Have you seen the new Sonic game trailer for the Switch, and what do you think about customizations for Sonic? I'm not a huge fan of it. I kind of want to talk about this earlier in the video, but I forgot. But what do you think about the new Sonic customizations? I don't really like them, to be honest. I kind of just like regular Sonic Hedgehog. I kind of wish they focused more on... I really hope the customizations don't get in the way of gameplay, because I really wish that Sonic would have like Sonic Colors and what other Sonic games have I played? I haven't really played many, but I know Sonic Colors was like one of the most joyful experiences for me playing Sonic, and a lot of the games I hear aren't that great, so I hope they focus more. I hope they do focus on gameplay. The graphics already look great, but I want the gameplay to be amazing as well as obviously an awesome story. But otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to leave a comment answering that question, feel free to down below. Otherwise, I will see you around in another video.